Hello, Tide fans. Welcome to Tide Talk. I'm your host, Sean Taylor. Back again after an interesting ball game.
I'm Maurice, and that's Jimmy. Thanks.
Yeah, his two buddies are back with him this week.
Tide fans, as I say every week, I'm here with my two buddies, Jimmy and Mo, but I think I was still so distraught after the game Saturday night, I failed to mention that Mimi and Joe, or however you want to call it, that's about how I feel.
Well,
I think we all feel that way, don't we?
Yeah.
I called it.
I think you did. Roll the tape. He said it was going to be a low-scoring, close game.
I said there would be a game. So, and it would.
Can we make sure we get that clip?
I can't.
But
I'm getting older.
I won't digress. Guys, if you're confused out there, Tide fans, we are equally confused. I think that's safe to say. We're going to talk about the game, obviously, in some depth. We got some plays to break down in the second segment. But let's get started. Jimmy, what did we watch?
A shimmy.
Yeah, what did we watch?
All right, so let me be the first to say I'm one of those fans now. I'm one of those spoiled, rotten fans because I was so disappointed that we won and how we won. Not that we won, but how we won.
Wow.
And I'm there now. I just realized that because I was certainly expecting a lot better, a lot more out of our offense, especially since their defense was missing so many starters. And the fact that we couldn't move the ball on them consistently, the pressure they were getting on us from snap one to the end of the game, I mean, it was frustrating to watch. But a win's a win, right? Should be happy about that, but I'm really not for some reason.
Well, I think we've talked about it on the show numerous times over the course of the 4 years that we've done Tide Talk. We are spoiled Tide fans. I mean, we are used to us being able to run the football, and we didn't do much of anything. And so, yeah, being spoiled, yeah.
You know what that is?
It makes me sick to my stomach when you talk about it. Maurice?
I would agree.
Hey, it matches his jacket.
Yeah. Did you do that on purpose?
I stopped by Dollar General. You got this. Aren't you going to take it there?
I think, but.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
I was double mic. The last time we had an offensive rushing attack like this was 1990 against Penn State at home, 6 yards. We lost 9-0. I don't think that's spoiled, Sean. I would expect more than 6 yards rushing. I would expect more than 6 yards rushing from the University of Hawaii in a game against whomever. They should be a little bit embarrassed. When I say they, I mean the offensive line. Brian Robinson as well. I thought Roydell Williams put out a pretty good effort.
I agree with that.
And for whatever reason, their minds weren't in it. Maybe it's because they thought they were playing a bunch of backups or a team that was ready to trade it in, but they got something a little different. And we escaped. I mean, we won it, but we escaped.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we joke about, I said that it was going to be a tougher game. I mean, I did predict that we were going to win convincingly, but I did believe it was going to be a tougher game, and we joke about that. But what do you think is the problem? Because this is the second time this year that it's happened. We lost the first time it happened. Guys, we can't do that against Auburn. We can't do that against.
If you see what LSU did was they mimicked what A&M did defensively, and it worked. And that's a problem, meaning that you haven't adjusted to it or addressed it
Since then. Since the Texas A&M game.
So, yeah, you put in certain blitz packages and you confuse the offensive line, which that offensive line was more confused in this game than they were against A&M. Maybe as we were talking about before we started taping, maybe it was the center being out. But we replaced him
Dalcourt with Owens, who's a 6-year senior.
Who played in a national
championship game.
We talked about that too early on. Like, man, how come Chris Owens ain't centering? How come he's not at center?
One thing I've heard this year in Nick Saban's press conferences that I've never heard before is a repeat of "this falls on me" is something that we're going to address.
He's been saying that all year, hasn't he?
Exactly. And I'm not,
right,
getting on him and all that, but you've said it.
Well, you know,
Exactly.
So, you know, my biggest concern from the get-go before the season started was the offensive line. I mean, I mentioned that we lost too many starters. Yeah, we had some guys that played here and there, and I know Owens did a great job in that national championship game, but we still were replacing too many starters across that offensive line. And every week we talked about, man, you know, they've got to get better. They've got to make an adjustment. Or they will get better. We got the talent. We're going to get better. We're going to get better. And just when we thought we were maybe getting a little bit better, man, I think we took about 10 steps backwards this past week.
Yeah, but none of those guys are freshmen, and they've been in the program a while, and one of them is the best tackle in college football, in my opinion.
I agree.
It shouldn't be this bad.
That's exactly what I was
right.
about to say.
So again, so where does it go to? Does it go back to that offensive line coach, the
Damn
offensive
right.
coordinator?
Excuse my language, but that's exactly.
No, I agree. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, because I'm going to tell you, to your point about the Texas A&M game, and they mimicked that. I said a couple of times Saturday night when we were watching the game that it looked like what Texas A&M was doing. You know, they're overloading one side, but then they'll drop back, but we're blitzing us up the middle and doing some things that look very similar. So I'm going to ask why we weren't more prepared for Saturday night against LSU, since we'd seen it one time already from Texas A&M and they were effective.
Right.
I mean, you got to ask, what was the offensive line coach thinking,
I wonder
or not?
Why call out certain journalists here, but listening to the press conference, they kind of dance around the question, and I know that they're intimidated by asking Coach Saban certain questions, but that's an obvious question. You had this problem against Texas A&M. You had it against LSU. I got news for you. Auburn and Arkansas are going to bring it.
Without a doubt.
And I hope New Mexico State doesn't have I hadn't even looked up their stats, but I hope they're not defensively, superior in their conference.
I'm sure they're going to throw the kitchen sink at us, though, right?
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we already know that it's Alabama and they're going to bring their best game. But then, Orgeron had nothing to lose. LSU had nothing to lose. They're 4-4. Orgeron's leaving. I mean, they're down so many people, almost somewhat given up, so to speak. They had nothing to lose.
Did you see the handshake after the game? It was, usually amongst SEC coaches, just a little camaraderie, but it was a quick.
Oh, without a doubt.
But did you see him come on the field?
Yeah.
He led his team out, and then he went over there and ran through the Alabama cheerleaders and went down the sideline part way.
But listen, that's
that's
all part of it for him. Why not do that? Why not do that? I mean, look, you were expected to lose. You were expected to lose big.
Right.
Anything you did better than the 28, 29 point spread was a win.
Well, in his mind, it was. I don't know if you saw his.
That's exactly what he said. Hey, he said we were the better football team and we dominated their offense.
Well, I go by the scoreboard, Ed. I don't know what you go by.
Right, and at the end of the day,
And if you would go by the scoreboard too,
so Blaze, our Colson's buddy,
you'll shout out to Blaze,
sent me a text and was like, "Dude, 6 yards rushing." I said, "Yeah, man, we played the worst game we've played in 10 years that I know of, and we still beat y'all." So it is a win, and it is an SEC win, and it keeps us in contention.
yeah.
But
is this
but
another
how
one of
long
those?
Can we?
Is this another one of
how long
those
can we
slap in the
sustain
faces?
that?
Hey, we got to get better, and let's see how we respond afterwards, like what happened with Texas A&M, even though this wasn't a loss.
Our rushing attack was so bad we couldn't even say 3 yards in the cloud. We could only say it twice.
That's
3 yards in a
what
cloud of
does.
dust. We could only say it twice.
Yeah.
A lot to talk about still. There's so many questions out there. You're right, Jimmy. Is this another one of those wake-up calls? But how many wake-up calls do we get?
Not another one.
I mean, so let's take a quick
We
break.
got it on snooze control.
Yeah, we are, again, man, I'm as confused as everybody. We'll take a quick break on behalf of Bob English and State Farm. Hold your seats, Tide fans. We'll be right back with Tide Talk.
Hey, Bob. How's it going?
In life, some things just go together, like a burger and fries, and home and auto insurance from State Farm. So make it a combo. Combining your home and auto insurance could save you time and money. And who doesn't like that? Just call me, Bob English, or any of my experienced hometown team and find out how you could start saving today. It's just another way.
All right, welcome back, Tide fans. Maurice, we're going to jump into some video footage, I guess. We're going to watch a few plays, some things that, as you said, we said it before, I think we could spend a couple of hours breaking down.
Sure.
But these are some plays that I agree that were just, one, the fake punt changed the course of the momentum of the game.
It set it.
Yeah, it set the tone for them. It let us know that they were going to throw everything in the kitchen sink at us, in my opinion. But let's go ahead and jump in there.
Well, first of all, I want you to cheer up. We won. So, all right, here's
Agreed.
the first one. They come in with this fake punt, and it's a little jump pass. If we could run it back, Toygar, you can see. Okay, the linebackers have to respect that the punter, quarterback, is stepping up. I get that. But there should be
Christian Harris.
There should be one person that has got the middle to cover, because your outside guys are covered. That's not a problem. But to release or let somebody come through that would be an eligible receiver straight through the line of scrimmage without anybody coming out of the backfield or off the line of
Not putting a
scrimmage,
hand on him.
got to have a hand on him. You got to be hit. I don't care who you-
I think he ran by Christian Harris and said, "I'm about to catch this ball." I mean,
Christian Harris said, "Oh, excuse me, let me get out of your way so you can go catch the ball."
He runs right past Christian Harris, and Christian Harris almost gets out of the way.
I get that, and he does, because he's thinking he's going to make the tackle, so he's avoiding the block.
He's avoiding the block, yeah.
So to me, I think in this situation, you got the outside guys that should be picking up anybody, because you got everybody on the outside cover.
Look, hold on right there, Toygar. You got the freshman, 15.
Dallas
I mean, he's
Who had a great game.
Yeah, he played really well. And listen, don't let me take anything away from very well designed fake punt by LSU. Very well designed.
Yeah.
In that moment, on their side of the field, early in the game, very unexpected. I just feel like that at the University of Alabama, as the number 2 team in the country, you got to be a little bit more prepared, because what else did you expect them to do?
The one thing that I think that they need to get across to them is, if you're on the field, you have some responsibility somewhere. You're not a decoration. So when you're out there,
Agreed.
knowing that you have some type of responsibility coming through, anybody that's coming through the line of scrimmage, even if it's not a fake, you don't want to let any linemen or up backs get through the line of scrimmage that quickly, because they're getting down the field to make the tackle. So somebody's got to. You don't let the lineman go, because you're not putting in a 350-pound tackle on a punt
To go downfield and make it right.
You're putting somebody that's got some speed.
But here's the thing too that kind of griped me a little bit. I mean, this isn't the first time somebody's faked a punt and run a trick play, or got a first down on us, whatever. How did we respond to it? Just let them go right on down there and score a touchdown. Yeah. How many times have we seen that in the past? And we step up, we're ticked off. We're like, man, that's just and somebody step up and make a play,
Agreed.
And they don't go and score a touchdown.
Let's go to the next play.
That's a great segue, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you're going to be looking that up. That's not a little.
So this is coming off of this fake punt,
This is
correct?
the same series coming out. Got a 3rd and 2, thinking that we're going to stop them, and just a simple pass out to the flats. That's Kool-Aid back there. That is not his responsibility. So if anybody
Look at Malachi Moore getting just
he got
sucked in with the linebackers that are standing there too.
Obviously, he thought that there was some type of man or banjo cover, which means your man breaks inside. You got him man to man from that point on. So he steps in. You got Kool-Aid basically has the deep, in this case, part of the field, which is only about 15 yards. But he's got his responsibility and he's doing it well. This is simple pitch and catch right here because of a miscommunication breakdown on what your responsibility is.
And I'm going to ask, is it miscommunication or is it misunderstanding? I mean, it looked to me like Malachi Moore either thought they were in man.
Okay.
Yeah, because it looks like everybody else is in their assignment but Malachi.
Freeze it right there, please.
Correct.
Okay, you got a bunch formation. You got nothing spread, so everybody's in tight. And you got Will Anderson up on the line of scrimmage on that side of the ball, and you know that he's coming, which he does. So if he's coming, 13, and if number one's behind you and he's got deep, who's going to take flats? Who's got that? You've got to think this. They're in a bunch formation, so there's only so many different routes that they can run in this type of formation, and one of them is just simple, hit the flats, and in your mind, you got to be thinking as a DB, who's got what before the snap.
Right.
And Malachi Moore was actually
was
impressed.
no motion.
He was impressed on the
line of
tight end on the line of scrimmage. So when that guy released, again, was he just confused that he was supposed to go to the flat? Because all of a sudden you look up and he's chasing the other guy coming back,
To
coming
Sean's
through
point,
there.
there is no shift before the snap. They're set, so there shouldn't be. When I say miscommunication,
Right. There was no changing of the defensive scheme at the line of
Exactly.
scrimmage. They didn't do anything but line up
there
and run
was
the
no
play.
late call.
Right.
You should have known.
Right here, go back, Toy Gar, real quick. Right here, our guys should know what their responsibility is. That they should know what their responsibility is. They're either in man or they're either in zone, and we obviously are confused. Someone is confused about what we're
So
doing.
is it Malachi or Henry?
We don't know.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So who knows?
We don't know.
You said Malachi or who?
Toa.
Oh no.
Because that was the guy coming out of the backfield.
I'll
I don't know.
I'll give.
Well, he was a wide receiver that was dragging across the field.
I know, but that guy came out of the backfield.
Doesn't
Yeah,
matter
yeah.
where they come from.
That's
in the
correct.
zone.
Right. Well, I know.
So he should have had 13. Should have known. And Toa does a good job here. His head immediately goes to where the receivers are coming off, and he recognizes this coverage right here. He doesn't. I know we've kind of said some things about him, but that's good recognition on his part. It goes back to Malachi. He's completely lost at the snap, and it's easy.
Seems like it to me. Next play, sir.
Okay, here. Stop, please. All right, look. You got 4 straight across. Now the blitz is coming. When I say 4, you got 4 deep.
Yep.
So right at the snap, linebackers take off for their blitz. The slot man should have recognized that immediately, right there. See where he is?
Yeah.
He's open.
Which is Mechie.
Break it off, and this could have been. This is such a wide open play because the safeties drop back immediately. Middle of the field is open. That could have been what's called a blind throw, where he just throws it and the receiver should be there.
A couple of things for me on this play. 1, the routes.
Yes.
2, Brian Robinson totally fanned and whiffed on the block.
Go ahead and run it, please. Line is somewhat confused here, not realizing that they're doing a double blitz, and it's nothing fancy. It's just straight up the middle. And he gets through. Brian Robinson gives a poor effort on that part, but it's really that recognition between Bryce Young and what looks to be John Mechie. He should have broke that off, and that would have been an easy. He could have.
Well, to me, both Bolden and Mechie should break off.
Yeah, 'cause
See
their
the
route.
safety drop back immediately.
I mean, that is so soft on their coverage.
Hot route.
You're right. I mean, anybody across the line of scrimmage should have.
that
One of them should have been a hot route.
It's a hot route that on his third step he should have had it. I don't know why. This is what confuses me or scares me, is the fact that this is something that they should have picked up as true freshmen, that you see this 3 steps, throw it, go, and you run for 20 yards.
Yeah. Several things, as we've pointed out, several things. We're going to take another break. Do we have another play?
No, I think
Okay.
so.
We're going to take a break. We'll come back. We'll
I
talk
need
a
my
little
blood
bit.
pressure medicine.
Yeah, I do too. Tide fans, hold your
Seeing
seats.
dots.
We'll be right back with Tide Talk.
Enjoy the good times a little more with the right plan. As your State Farm agent, I am here to help you protect your dreams and loved ones with life insurance. With over 60 years combined State Farm experience, call me or any of my team to find out which options are best for you. Another way, we're here to help life go right.
All right, Tide fans, welcome back. So we're going to go right into the greatest segment that we have.
Well, thank you.
There's no,
Maurice,
there's,
let's go
there's no
back
doubt.
to- no.
There's no doubt. There's no doubt, Tide fans. Y'all know what these
Stats
mean,
with
right?
Jimmy.
Y'all know what this means. When the glasses come out,
Stats with
when the
Jimmy.
glasses come out, the stats come out.
There are not a whole lot of game stats that we could talk
Yeah,
about. but
exactly.
let's see where
So,
we
so
are.
just a few things I'm going to highlight on, like I always do every week, Tide fans. Obviously, with what we did on offense, you know we're going to take a step backwards, in which we did 43 points a game now overall on the scoring offense. We're still first in the league, fourth nationally, which still is nothing to really cry about, but just backed up a little bit on that because we were averaging 45, almost 46 points a game. Rushing offense, did we say that we rushed for 6 yards this past
I
week?
don't think we've mentioned that.
Yeah.
So we obviously took a big step backwards on our rushing offense total. 10th in the league, 76 overall at 152 a game, where it was at 171 a game.
So
That's not good. Yeah, that's lower. Passing offense, 320 a game, still second in the league, 13th nationally. We did back up just a couple of yards there per game. Nothing again crazy there. Total offense, we're still second in the league and 11th overall nationally. Again, nothing to cry about there. Let's just move on. Third down conversions. We've been talking about that all year, right? We were terrible on third down conversions, but at 55%, we're still first in the conference and second in the country, which we were first prior to this past week. That I don't know. Good question.
I can look it up. Go ahead.
So
Yeah, like I was participating.
red zone, we're still first at converting red zone possessions at 93%, first in the league, 9th in the country. Scoring defense, 19.9 points a game, 4th and 25th respectively. We actually improved there slightly from 5th and 34th. And I think we're about at the same point last year, if I remember correctly, on our defense that we've been bashing all year. I think we ended up being first in scoring and first in total or something like that, if I remember correctly, around the 18th, 19 or 18, 19 points a game, and that's kind of where we are right now on this defense. Rushing defense, second in the league, 6th overall, 91 yards a game. Passing defense, 215 a game. That's good for 7th in the league and 47th overall, which again, both improvements from where we were prior. Total is we're giving up 307 yards, which is 2nd and 11th respectively. Now I want to skip on, of course, penalties. I don't even want to talk about that still. Time of possession, we're still 2nd in the league, 12th overall, so we're possessing the ball. So a couple of things I want to keep pointing out. A couple of guys we've been giving some recognition to one guy all year, which is our quarterback. 2,755 yards total, 28 touchdowns, just 3 interceptions. He's completing passes at 69% rate through 9 games. He's 4th nationally in passing touchdowns, 6th in passer rating, 10th in passing yards. Again, right in the thick of that Heisman race. Another guy, we really haven't given him a lot of love, at least I know I haven't. But Jameson Williams, he is he leads the SEC in receiving yards right now at 870 and yards per game at right close to 100. And I know we've mentioned his name a few times, but we really hadn't given him the love. I mean, where would this offense be without him
We
this year?
would not be where we are.
I mean,
That guy, I wish his effort would rub off on somebody.
there is no doubt. Now, granted, Mechie has stepped up the last 2 or 3 weeks, and his numbers are improving. But man, without Williams there, I'm not sure where this offense
Y'all
would
see
be.
for the past 2 years where I've said that was the best 3
Yes,
college
that's
football.
exactly
I mean,
right. I agree with you.
We missed that.
Mechie's played well. I'm still a little disappointed in the play of some people on the offensive side. Billingsley, I mean, he is
Where-
just,
Yeah, our tight ends have disappeared.
He is just
Yeah.
tanked.
Yeah.
I mean,
Not to, and I don't-
we're dropping too many passes.
He had the first ball of the game
Of
and
the
he dropped it.
Yeah.
There was no defensive play on
It's
it.
level of confidence. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know that either the offensive coordinator or the quarterback doesn't have the
Yeah.
confidence. But I want to go to a very, I think, oh, you still going? Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
I mean, the phone and the glasses are still on, right?
Well,
I mean, come on.
that doesn't mean anything.
So I know. So just real quick, defensively, I know we've been talking about all the negatives. You know, we did have some positive on that.
We had a
end.
lot of
Saturday night was very positive.
Dallas Turner and Mr. Kool-Aid, welcome to the show. I thought those two freshmen
Played really well.
Played really well. But let's talk about Mr. Anderson for a second. He do what?
Heavy on
Let's-
the
Heavy on the Mister.
Yeah.
So, man, this guy is. Of course, you know they're starting talking about him being in the Heisman Trophy mix now. Of course, he won't win it, but 21 tackles for a loss. He's the only player in the nation with 20 or more tackles for a loss. Has nearly twice as many as the second place guy in the SEC, who has 11. He's 10.5 in sacks, which is second nationally. He's tied for most tackles for loss in a single season in program history. And he's tied for 5th most sacks in 1 year as well. And we still have 3 regular season games and probably
I see the
a couple more.
I see the Heisman race with 3 people. I know it won't go. That's the nose guard from Georgia, Will Anderson, and the running back from Michigan State. And you know, I know I'm prejudiced for defensive players, but I really wish that Will Anderson may be cursed because he's at Alabama, because Alabama won it last year. But name another. Thibodeau from Oregon's been hurt, so he hasn't had the numbers, and he won't. But name another player, like you said with your stats. There's not even close. And I want the Heisman Committee or college football writers to recognize a real defensive talent like him and Jordan Davis at Georgia, but to have this type of skill set.
Yeah, without a doubt. The guy's he's a freak. I mean, he listen, if you're being compared to
Derek Thomas.
all right?
That's how I got him.
I mean, I don't care where you are, where you're from, that's an accomplishment.
Yeah.
Bottom line, stop the discussion. That's an accomplishment.
Yeah.
Well, Williams, who came from Ohio State, compared him to, the
Chase Young.
Chase Young from Ohio State, who was
Yeah,
a
that's
drop.
And this and Chase Young was a junior or senior when he was.
Yeah, he was a junior.
We're talking about
We're talking about a sophomore. He gets to come back one more
He
year.
gets to come back another year.
Yeah.
If he wants to play.
But I wanted to ask the question because we're this Alabama show. We're Alabama fans. Do we think that this Alabama team can get to the playoffs?
Why are you looking at me?
Jimmy.
So, this is, in my opinion, the worst Alabama team I've seen in the last 10 years. And again, I'm not saying they're a terrible team, but stack them up against the other teams we've seen in the last 10 years, they don't hold a candle to them. So that being said, I think it'd be hard pressed getting to the playoff this year, personally.
You want to go right now? Is that what you want to do? I'll go. Just kidding. It is not impressive. It's probably Coach Saban's worst team so far, the way it looks since take out 2007 as first, and even the 2010 team.
And we're talking about an 8-1.
However, this team, yes, can make it because it's like somebody said, well, who are the other? If Alabama's not number 2, who are you going to put there? Ohio State looks good, but could we beat them? Yeah. Oklahoma, definitely. I think we can. It just depends on, it's like Coach Saban said, there's no room for error.
What team shows up?
Yeah, we can't lose another game.
Right. So that being said, and keep in mind, let's say we went out the regular season, we got to play Georgia, and I think the committee would jump at the chance to eliminate us just because we are Alabama. And some people are saying the exact opposite. The only reason we're in there is
Because we're Alabama. Everybody wants to see somebody other than Alabama.
Right.
I am on the fence. I believe that we have not played a full football game, both sides of the ball.
No.
Still, I believe we have not played a full football game.
But at this
I don't-
point, are we even capable of that?
I don't know. I guess that's what we're waiting to see. I know that it's going to require that for Arkansas, and it's going to require that for Auburn. I'm not even looking at the SEC championship game yet.
Which, I mean, we lose one, A&M goes.
Correct.
I don't think A&M loses again. And I don't see how they lost to Mississippi State and Arkansas. But, you know, if we went out, of course we beat Georgia, we're in.
Oh, yeah, I mean.
But, you know, concentration now is New Mexico State because, like Gene Stallings said, if you don't think the next game is important, try losing it.
That's right.
So,
We're not even going to do predictions. With
51.5 point spread.
yeah, I mean,
I think we slide by. So,
It's gonna be closer than
be
you
a tough
think.
game.
It's gonna be closer
I
than
think
you
it's gonna be
think,
a tough
guys. I'm
game.
just telling you. Mark my word.
however, you're right. The next 3 weeks are extremely important. Yeah, it's important for us to find the focus. It's important for us to figure out the offensive identity because I think we lost it this past weekend. I think we lost it and you know, hopefully we're going to see that this was another wake-up call. I don't know how many we're going to get, but hopefully we're going to see that this is. Maybe I'm being optimistic because I'm an Alabama fan. I believe that we're talented enough.
I kind of wish we were playing Arkansas this week versus New Mexico
me too.
State.
I believe that we're talented enough. I just haven't seen the talent consistently enough
Spell
week
that.
after week.
Can you spell that?
Week consistently enough. Week after week.
right.
You know, we come out and play really, really good, and then we look subpar. And then we come out and play really, really good, and then we look worse than subpar.
To be
so-
honest with you, I don't mean to say this sarcastically or however. I really don't care. You know, I want us to win, but I don't think this weekend proves anything for us or accomplishes anything for us. Because, like Sean said, Arkansas is really the next test. I know we got to win this one, but you know, say we go out there and we beat them by 60. So, all right, which Alabama team is this?
Right.
Yeah, and then what does that do for the preparation for Arkansas the following week?
Right.
Man, we just scored 60.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm just uncertain about the mentality of the team and the players, but
So I would say, you know, take the points.
next 3 weeks is going to be interesting. It's going to be,
And stay healthy.
yeah, it's going to be important for us to regain some identity offensively. I just wished, as you said, Jimmy, I wished it wasn't New Mexico State this coming week, but we'll see. So we all expect us to dominate, to blow out New Mexico State. But you know what? We'll come back next week and we'll review it and see where we are. So Tide fans, join us right here next week, and we'll see you hopefully with another W going 9-1. Go Tide fans, roll Tide.
Roll Tide.